afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor for me to have an opportunity to present my papers in this conference. So the topic of my presentation today is about the challenging factors influencing the establishment of agricultural enterprise, a systematic review. There are three authors in these papers. The first one we have Mr. Natawut Tosenas. He is an independent researcher from Thailand, followed by Dr. Raksmey Sann from the Faculties of Business Administration and Accountancy, Khon Kaen University, Thailand. And the last one is the Professor Jong Ru Lee. He is a full professor from National Chongqing University, Taiwan. So we go to our agenda today. We have the four of them: introduction, research methodologies, result, and conclusion. So as you know that agriculture is the world's largest industry and they employ more than 1 billion people around the world. And each year they produce approximately 1.3 trillion worth of food. More than 50% of the earth are occupied by croplands, and this is one of the world's reserved land for both home and food resources for varieties of species. Agriculture in some countries they are considered as the main economic activities. In the past, agriculture was applied or was seen as a low-tax industry, and they are dominated by the small firms or families firm, and we are mostly focused on doing things better rather than doing new things. However, over the last 2 decades, this situation has been changed dramatically due to the economic liberalizations and the fast-changing societies. We have changed agriculture from the traditional one to the new technologies agriculture, which we can gather a lot of crop yields in every year. Therefore, it has faced several challenges that impact their growth and development. However, the increasing interest and involvement of the entrepreneur in agribusiness present an opportunities to address some of these challenges to transform these sectors. Thus, this study was to review literatures regarding the challenges that influence the factors in establishment of agricultural enterprise by agricultural entrepreneurs. We collected data from 4 main bases such as Scopus, IAIC, Science Direct, and Google Scholar. The initial keyword phrase or the sentence phrase was applied. The challenges faced by agricultural entrepreneurs in starting an agricultural enterprise was applied in order to search for relevant literatures. In addition, those papers must be published in year 2020 and later. All the paper must written or must in English language, and they must include the keyword phrase as has been addressed above. And the author read the articles and the keyword and then summarize their related topics, their research content accordingly for this review paper. After the review paper, we found out 3 main topics as follows. The first one is the influence factor faced by successors of the second generations. The second theme is about the influencing factor faced by entrepreneurs with the background from agricultural professionalism. And last but not least is about the influencing factor faced by the new entrant and entrepreneur without an agricultural background. And each theme we find out some of the most important elements. So the first one, the influencing factor faced by successor, we found of 5 elements. So they lack of the entrepreneur's skills, knowledge, and skill. And the running the business, they require the skill and knowledge, but the young generation, they are lacks of those skill and knowledge. Problem of marketing. So the problem of marketing faced by the young entrepreneurs, it means they did not have the first-hand information, and the information about the competitiveness in the market was also limited. The third factor, the third element is about finding a good customer. Because the young entrepreneurs just doing the business or doing the agriculture but less experience in the business environment. The first one is about short-term talent and dedicated workforce. As you know that they are less interested in agriculture and lack of skilled labor. Last but not least, the young generation faced by the old working infrastructures. In some countries, they still use the traditional tools and materials, which is not motivating young generation at all. The second factor is about the entrepreneurs that have the backgrounds of the professionalism, agriculture. So one of the most elements that are influent on this young entrepreneur is about limited access to skilled labor and talents. So it's very difficult to recruit and retain the employees with skills and labors for the agriculture. The second one is about what? Even we got skills and labor, but about the weather's conditions. In some countries, the weather is too hot, too dry, which impacts on the crop. And some of the young entrepreneurs are also faced by legs limited, financial limited, and some government supported. And of course, also the poor infrastructure facilities, which not motivated the young entrepreneurs to start their agricultural career. Access to technology is also another point that the young entrepreneurs also carries about. Because technologies are very high cost and the young entrepreneurs are limited in budget. Assessing, and this one, there are challenges of building partnership with other people or with other stakeholders. And this kind of poor collaborations with the stakeholder and investor, it might not be a good chance for young entrepreneurs to do or to have good opportunities in their agricultural professionalism. Lack of employees, and last but not least about the middlemen. Some middlemen, they get advantages of young entrepreneurs in agriculture because we are less experienced in the marketing. We have poor infrastructures, we have no access to technologies, so the middlemen get more benefit. The third theme that we're talking about is the factor faced by the new entrant, and those people are not, with the background of agriculture. So the first one is about the market accessibility. These people, they are poor access to the agricultural markets. They don't know. Where should I contact? Where should I go? And how much price should I set up? The second one, they have no knowledge of research activities on agriculture and education here. So which is one of the most important for those without the background of agriculture? Lack of trainings, no government support, and last but not least, legal knowledge. So these are the barriers to impacts on the young entrepreneur to be an agricultural entrepreneur. So in conclusions, from these literature reviews, we found of 3 main topics as mentioned earlier. And each topic also address some minor elements that we should take care and that we should think about and how to support our young entrepreneurship, our young people in agriculture. In some other countries, the agriculture was dominated by old age people and less young people to do it. So by conducting this study, we can know what kind of new things, what kind of element that we can support our young generations to be participate more in agriculture. We also got some limitations. For example, some documents they did not address the challenge obstacles, so we did not include them into our studies. And because this is the first experience of the researcher conducts a literature reviews related to agriculture, so the context and also the qualities of the papers might be limited. So this might be considered for further developments for the next researchers. So thank you for the opportunity to present in this paper, in this conference. If you have any question, please feel free to ask. Thank you.